Hey everyone. All right, so a major bombshell dropped yesterday in regards to the new or the upcoming Han Solo standalone film. Lord and Miller, the directors of the Lego Movie and the 21 Jump Street reboot, have apparently been fired from the Han Solo film. Now, from what Variety and a few other sources are reporting, Lord and Miller's vision and direction for the film Han Solo and the character Han Solo was vastly different than what Kathleen Kennedy and Lawrence Kasdan wanted. So I guess this tension was brewing for quite a while since they started filming back in January. Now here are my thoughts on this particular subject, okay? On the internet, there's been a ton of buzz about, well, I thought that Lucasfilm and Disney give their talent, their directors, I thought they give them creative freedom. Yes, they give them creative freedom. However, there's limits to that creative freedom, especially when you're dealing with Star Wars, okay? Number one, Han Solo is a very distinguished character. Everyone knows who Han Solo is. He has a distinctive personality. So while the directors can have creative freedom, you still have to work within the structure in that box to make the character a believable Han Solo, right? So if Lord and Miller are doing things that are going a little too far off the beaten path in regards to the character, that can be a problem. So, like I said before, creative freedom is okay and is probably encouraged over at Lucasfilm, but there has to be a limit. You have to have consistency. Now, another problem that could arise is the canon. Star Wars has what we call canon. It's basically Star Wars version of a history book. Periods of time, periods or events that happened in the past that are fact, okay? So when you have a film like Han Solo, you have to work within that canon. You can't just make a film and have total creative freedom and do whatever you want, because then there's going to be things that are in that film that might not coincide or be consistent with that canon. So that's another example of where creative freedom is sort of, I wouldn't say, squashed, but it puts a lid on it. That you have to work in a box, and it's not complete free-for-all just because there's creative freedom and there's leniency, especially with the franchise like Star Wars. Okay, so in terms of Kathleen Kennedy firing them, my take on that is the movie was basically almost finished. I think they were only like 3 weeks away from wrapping the filming up, so they were pretty far in the process. For Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Lucasfilm, to fire Lord and Miller 3 weeks out, just 3 weeks out of finishing this project, tells me there was a lot of problems. Now, I don't know the details on everything. Obviously, none of us really do. But I don't think Kathleen Kennedy, as smart as she is, would fire the directors that late in the game if there wasn't serious problems. And there are probably problems that have been festering for a while. Lord and Miller are brilliant filmmakers. They are. Lego Movie is one of my favorite animated films. I love the Lego Movie. 21 Jump Street is hilarious. It was a great movie. Lord and Miller know how to make good movies. This isn't about their talent or their competence. It's there. There's no question. That's how they got the job. But sometimes relationships just don't work. And it's very likely that because of the canon restrictions and the restrictions that come along with doing an existing character as well known as Han Solo, it's very possible that it created a lot of friction and the relationship just didn't work out. Okay, so Kathleen Kennedy fires them that late in the game. It tells me there's a lot of problems. It also tells me Kathleen Kennedy, I am very impressed with Kathleen Kennedy. After this move, I'm kind of leaning towards her replacing Bob Iger. Why? Because what she did yesterday, firing these two directors that late in the game, shows guts, major guts. She could have easily of just applied band-aids to the film and tried to shove the square peg in the round hole and just push it through. She could have done that, but she didn't. She cares about Star Wars as a franchise. She wanted the film to turn out the best it could be. So she felt, even though it was going to be a PR nightmare, firing these two directors, she felt it was the best decision for the movie to do so. I respect that. I'm never happy when anyone loses their job. Okay, Lord and Miller are talented guys. I'm not happy they got fired. But if they weren't right for the Han Solo movie, it's better to cut bait now and start fresh with a new director when you still have about a year out than it would be to try to fix and band-aid something and force something that isn't going to work. Okay? At the end of the day, even though this created a lot of behind-the-scenes drama, at the end of the day, what Kathleen Kennedy did, I think will result in a much better Han Solo standalone film. I really, really do. I think that she took a very risky, step, very bold step in firing these two really talented guys, and this late in the game. She took a really bold step doing that, and I think it's going to pay off. She didn't like what she saw. Lawrence Kasdan didn't like what he saw. They want to go in a different direction, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And that's not really Lord Miller's fault either. They just had a different vision. No one in this whole equation is the bad guy, okay? Everyone had a different vision, and that's fine. It didn't work out for Lucasfilm, so they had to separate. So those are my thoughts on this Han Solo drama. I really do, guys. I really do believe this is a move that's positive. I trust Kathleen Kennedy. She's brilliant. Okay, she's absolutely brilliant. I loved Rogue One. I loved Force Awakens. Everything I'm hearing about Last Jedi sounds terrific. I'm going to trust her. If she didn't like the way that this film was turning out, I'm glad that she cut bait and she took steps to move in a different direction with a new director. That's a good move. Okay, but those are my thoughts. Comment below. What do you guys think about this move where she fires these two directors, and now we got to find a new director and this whole thing? What do you think about that? Do you agree with me that it's probably a good thing? Do you disagree with me? Do you think this spells even more trouble for Han Solo? What are your thoughts? Comment below. I do content on Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, the parks all the time. Like, subscribe, and as always, may the Force be with you.